sans dire à tout.
Since we got all the pleasantries out of the way, why don't we get started? Let's get started on tonight's stream. I think. What do you want to do? Do you want because
Should we
we
start
titled
with
this
bullshit, or should we
Batman,
start
beers,
with
and
beer?
bullshit. So what would you like to get into first? Well, I mean, Batman. We're gonna say for the end, obviously, because that's our movie review. So which one would you rather do first, bullshit or beers?
Let's get the fucking bullshit out of the way.
Okay.
You know what's bullshit?
All right. Okay, then why don't you start us off with the bullshit tonight?
Okay, so I want to premise this. Start off that I'm a animal lover. I love animals. I think animals are great.
Right. He's very compassionate.
Yes, I like cats. I like dogs. I like bunnies, all that stuff. I love wild animals. So I have nothing against animals. So let's just get that right off the right off the bat. But something that does bother me is this something that was, I think, intended for a good purpose has just been gone way out of control, and that's these goddamn was it therapy animals?
Right, the emotional support animals.
The emotional support animals. And I say this because nearly every day, at work, people are bringing in their pets into the post office, and it's like, come on, really? Like, why are you bringing your pet with you? Like, you don't need to have your pet every single place with you. Like, it's one thing if, like, maybe you're going on a walk and it's like, oh, or like you like, oh, well, I'll just drop off this letter really quick, and you just you drop it off, whatever, no big deal, right? Or but no, it's like, what they had to do is, like, they're sitting there waiting in line because they had to mail out a package. It's like, why are you bringing your goddamn dog with you? Now, some people that show up, they need an emotional support animal because their heart is going to explode because they have, like, literally, you can see, like, when stuff doesn't go their way, just the anger that is coursing through their blood. So it's like, you know what? You need that dog with you because that's how you not kill everybody. But 99% of the people that show up, it's just like, you're an asshole. That's what it is. And it's like, you use this emotional support animal just so you can bring your dog or your pet or ferret or whatever the fuck with you at all times. The worst case, however, was this lady brought her dog in a stroller, and her toddler was outside of it, like, kind of, and she was like hanging on to him. It's like, why the fuck isn't he, like, why is this situation turned around? Why is the dog in the goddamn stroller, not the kid? Because it wasn't like, it's not like he was a 5-year-old, like, where it's like, you don't need a stroller, but like, he was like maybe what, 2.5. And it's just like, give me a break. What is this crap? It pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, a part of me, can't help but, respect people who game the system, but there are limits, and there's a thing called decency, and you have the you have the veteran who has PTSD, who needs an emotional support animal because every, like, door slam or loud noise could potentially set him off or whatever. But when you take it to, like, these ridiculous extremes, like, I remember hearing about a woman who's trying to bring, like, an emotional support, like, lizard, like iguana or something, onto an airplane.
Oh my, yeah, you told me about that story. Oh my god.
Yeah, and
It's just,
so it's like at a certain, there's like, there's just no more decency in this world. It seems.
well, here's a couple things too. Is like, one, if you can't fly without an animal with you, you
Mhm.
shouldn't be flying, for one. Um, Number two is, the fact is that you're all okay. If you really do have a problem, which is fine, people have problems, got it, and this is the outlet. But the other thing is, like, you still have to, live among other people, and for a lot of other people, it makes them uncomfortable. There's people that are scared of dogs or scared of whatever wild creature that they want to have as their support animal,
Mhm.
and the and it's nothing against them that they need that, but you also have to think that there's other people around you too. It's this very focused on the self kind of thing,
Mhm.
and to me, that's an abuse of what this is meant for. And so now everything is like, well, I need my goldfish, because if I don't have my goldfish with me, I might just stab everyone in the room. It's like, no. Or it's like, I might have a meltdown because, when someone tells me a fact about something that I don't like, it's 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 just getting to the point where it's like, I'm fed up. It's ridiculous.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It's just. It's no longer. Yeah. This. People. It's this. Our culture has become so inconsiderate. And I think. And I think lazy too. Just in like kind of ripping off what you said about flying and travel like that. Back in the day, you see pictures of people traveling, and they were dressed to the nines. They wore their best. Everyone was uh, again looking their best when they travel. But now when you go into the when you go to the airport, people are wearing slippers and sweats and and I understand like to a certain degree, it's just more about expediency because like because with like all of the security theater basically that goes on, with like the pat downs and like the wanding and things like that. It's like it's a little bit more convenient, than having to like remove like your jacket and your tie and this that and have to untie your wingtips and all that. So I kind of for as a practical matter I understand, but it just saddens
That's
me that we've gotten to our society has gotten to the point of so little trust that we actually have to you know do those things.
Well, it's not even the airport anymore. It's everywhere, dude. Like, it's
True, yeah, because like even just going out to like eat, no one's dressing their best anymore. I mean, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say that I'm always decked out in a three-piece suit or whatever, but I'm still better than most.
well, I mean, it's like, I'm never gonna wear my pajamas anywhere that I go to. Like where I'm actually gonna be sitting down and eating.
Hmm.
Actually, in 99% time, like, yeah, when I go out, like, even if I'm just driving somewhere, not
Hmm.
wearing my pajamas, just not gonna happen. I'd have to be like deathly ill, trying to get medicine at like the last second to help me to where I'd do that. But yeah, like, there's a lot of restaurants where it's like, you know what, like, it's not McDonald's, like, it's a nice restaurant. I'm going to dress nicely, but even like in some of those cases, people are just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll just wear whatever.
Right.
Well, in particular, one is, there's a really good steak restaurant. I forget where exactly it is, but it's called the Derby. And I remember, we were getting ready to leave. It was my grandmother and I. We went for, I forget what the occasion was, but we went there. And on the way out, it's like my dad and I were gonna go use the bathroom, And the way that it's set up, it's it's an older fashioned restaurant, so the bathroom's kind of set in that Art Deco style from like the 20s.
Yeah, like lots of
But
wood.
then, yeah, and the way it's set, like the kind of like how like in my apartment where you look down the hall, you can kind of see in the bathroom when the door's open.
Right.
Well, kind of it's the way it's designed. It was kind of set up like that in that restaurant too. And there was someone that walked out, and we saw like this one dude that's about the size of 2.5 people by himself, and he was wearing a sweatpants and like a really dingy shirt, had his sweatpants all the way down to and his underwear all the way down to his ankles, and was going in the urinal. It's like, what in the fuck are you doing? Hey, you don't know.
Wait, yeah, he just dropped his pants to his ankle and just was like peeing at the urinal.
Yeah, exactly. So not only was he dressed
Okay.
awful for one, he didn't know how to use the bathroom. It's like, what the fuck? He's a 40-year-old dude to look like. How do you not know how to use a goddamn urinal or a bathroom for fuck's sake? It's ridiculous. My dad and I were laughing our asses off. It's like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's one thing if it's like an 8-year-old kid, but it was a 40-year-old man.
Right. Yeah. Like I remember. I remember the last time I did that, and I was like 4. And
Exactly.
I just never experienced a urinal before. But yeah, just another nail in the coffin of society.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, can you mess with your phone a little bit? Okay, that didn't help. Anyways.
What's going on with it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's on. It's likely something on my end, but we'll just try to soldier on.
All right, sounds like a plan. You can still like see me and hear me though, right?
Yeah, well, I can. We can see your ear.
You can see my ear.
Yeah,
Do I need to move over here?
Yeah, because it's as if because I know you have it in landscape right now, but it's as though it's your windows in portrait.
Do I need to like do this or?
Maybe I just need to stretch out the window. And if it snaps back, then no. Anything else you want to add to?
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah, I support therapy, support animals. It's getting ridiculous, and know how to go pee and dress nicer.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I guess then. I guess I'll share my bullshit. And my bullshit has to deal with Father's Day.
Okay, what about Father's Day? It pisses you off?
Not specifically.
Do you have one? No,
not specifically that I'm pissed off about Father's Day. It's just, I guess, the attitude that we have towards Father's Day, or
I will say though, because I think I know what you're talking about, and this year wasn't quite as egregious. Last year was a fucking shit show when it came to like Father's Day and how like there was this push of like it's pretty much like can the dads just have one goddamn day? And it's like I understand like some people don't, at least they don't have like either good dads or don't have dads at all. So it's like,
Right.
oh, give it up to the moms who are the single moms, and it's like, they're
Yeah.
just like our
Well,
dads. It's like, no, they're not. It's like
right. Yeah.
it's an unfortunate situation, but no, like there are people who are dads that deserve their day.
Right. Yeah. Well, my gripe is okay. This past so those of you who know, this past Sunday was Father's Day, and my church, did a very nice thing, and they created this video, where when they went around and asked the wives, and the children of the fathers, uh, at my church, it's like, oh, what's the best thing about daddy? What's the best thing about your husband? That kind of thing. One of those montage
Right.
things. But the young men that came up to, who created this clip presentation, they were, they were being so obsequious, to like the mothers. It's like, oh, like, hey, like, oh, we have this clip that we made for the fathers, and it's like this, fathers are great. It's like, oh, but not that mothers aren't, great, and not that they're not important, and
it's like,
exactly
obviously.
my reaction exactly. And I mean, not to fault these young men, because they're good kids, and
I already
but
have a
it's just,
headache listening to this.
what was it?
I already have a headache listening to this.
I know. I'm with you. Right? Yeah. And it was just, and I was like, just your reaction. I was just like, God damn, can we just, it's not saying, we're not saying that mothers are important. We're just acknowledging the fathers. That's all it is. You don't have to make this whole like song and dance thing, and it's like, oh, mothers are great. Mothers are great. Da, 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 da. It's like, it's like, just let the fathers have one day, right? Ooh, that's a pretty spicy take there. I disavow. Um,
But no, that's what people probably think, that like, just because you acknowledge like the dads on their, on one goddamn day, but if we don't give, like the moms, like even like a slight bit of like, it's pretty much saying fuck moms. They're worthless.
right, exactly. And it's just, it's just, it's like, why can't you just give fathers just like one day, because I mean, they already work more hours. They already do, some fathers, they sometimes do more dangerous things, um, you know, and it's not as though like, because the days where the wife is waiting at home with the slippers and the martini, those days are over, and no one's calling for those days to be, make a resurgence, but it just be nice for the fathers to have one day where they're acknowledged, and all the things that they do are recognized.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I had the exact same response that you did. I was just like, God, just it's like, Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, brought to you by mothers. It's like, oh.
Which would be fine if it was like the moms that were doing it, but it wasn't.
Right, exactly. It's like, Happy Father's Day, the other Mother's Day. It's just like,
Well, hell, that was like what last year was pretty much
right,
like,
yeah,
where
those ads, yeah, where it's like Father's Day. It's like, oh, it's like,
all
thanks,
about like the
mom.
single
It's like,
moms who are, it's,
right. It's like, well, you would have had a father if your mother, made better decisions.
Which is, because it wasn't, because those ads were not targeted at like moms who are widows. It wasn't any. It
Right,
was nothing like
exactly.
that. It was all like the tough moms, the single ladies who chose to venture out on their own, and like they wanted to have kids on their own and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like the AOC thing where she says like, "Oh, my mom was a single mother and stuff." It's like, but she leaves out the fact that her father died when she was an adult.
Yeah.
It's just like well, maybe not an adult, but like a young adult. Like she was probably like I think she was like maybe just graduated high school or something.
Right,
But
which is still like not. It's still tough to go through, but like the fact that it's like, oh, but well, maybe I will say this because she didn't leave the house until she was 29 when she became a congresswoman. So
true.
pretty much like my mom raised me until I was 29. Yeah.
Right. But I mean,
But it wasn't like she was like 4 years old and like she barely knew her dad.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, she benefited like crazy because he was an architect, and they were able to live in like that nice neighborhood and upstate New York, and when he did die, they were able to sell their house at like a profit.
Yeah.
To move back and to basically move back to like the Bronx. But I'm getting a little sidetracked. But anyways, yeah. But on the opposite side,
Yeah.
how condescending is it that you constantly have to mention women for the sake of like their feelings? Because I mean, I know the women of my church. I know like the mothers um, at my church, and they're all strong women, and they don't need to be placated to or kowtow to. And I'm sure that's that's true of all moms. You don't they or it should be. They don't constantly have to be condescended to, and also be mentioned. It's like because I know that they're or at least the women at my church. I know that they're completely secure in themselves, and then and they love their husbands, and they can go one day without having to be pandered to.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's as Christians as a church, I think we should know that too. Like it's kind of, but it's this culture that we live in right now. It's just. I was telling you the other day. It's I feel like we're living in a tale of two cities. It's like there's a lot of things that are great, but there's a lot of things that are really shitty. It really is the best of times and the worst of times all wrapped into one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's not really all I have to say about
That's a
that.
good one. Yeah, it's like, but that's a good one. It's bullshit. That's definitely right up there.
Right, yeah. And I mean, yeah, and again, I mean, I'm not a father. I have no dog in the fight, but one day I will be, and and you know, I would imagine even though I'm not the type of person that's that demands that you recognize what I do, but for one day I would just like it, you know, to be like, hey, you do a lot of hard stuff. Thank you.
Right.
You know, I'm not demanding it. I'm just saying that it just be a nice thing to do. Just as because imagine if it was flipped, and it's like, oh, happy Mother's Day. It's like, oh, but he's like, but it's like, oh, but not the fathers aren't great either. Fathers are great. Fathers do so much. Da, da, da. And like you weren't able to get like that space.
Right.
Imagine the outrage. Like, how dare you not acknowledge mothers and da 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 da.
Oh, you might as well like be saying Hail Hitler or something. If
Yeah,
you
you might as well
if you did
just
something
paint the
like that.
target right here.